You have selected Microsoft David as the default voice.
Is that working? Can you hear me now? I can see that working on OBS now. But let me know if that's not working in real life. Okay, you can hear. Sorry, I don't know what was going on there. Hello? Welcome to the stream. Sorry for the audio issues. I was just saying, I was thinking about projects to do. I have, the last few pieces of this night that we could put together. Kind of get that finished up. But now that I had to solve technical issues with that, kind of don't feel like working on the night. That might be a tomorrow 5s kind of issue. I have stuff that I can paint, and like I know how to paint, so I think we might do that. I think we might actually paint. Because I've got kind of a large painting project that I'm gonna plonk down on the table, and hopefully it'll fit. 1 second. This is that's what I got going on right now. Can you guys see all of that? You can just kind of see the giant ice cream cone that's there. Doesn't quite zoom out all the way. But this is this large castle thing. It's the next part of my candy terrain. Yeah, I did kind of prime it in Barbie Dreamhouse colors. But we've got a large ice cream cone. That's part of it, but that we can kind of take off for ease of being able to see what the heck I'm working on. It's gonna be a little difficult to keep everything in frame, but I think we'll do okay. But I figure we can just start painting on this, because I mean, I'm gonna be making a video about how to paint candy terrain and stuff like that, but it's there's a lot, so I'm not really worried about not having stuff to film for it. It's kind of huge. Yeah, it is a big old castle. That is accurate. And going to be painting it with miniature paint because that's the paint that I know how to use. And I'm also probably going to be using I picked up my good brush just on impulse, but like either whatever cheap brushes I have lying around, or I'll have to get new cheap brushes because I want to try not to use super great brushes for terrain. Can also probably use a bigger brush to start blocking things in. But I hate doing that, so I don't know if we're gonna do that. really, I want to take my small good brush and just use that to paint the entire thing because, well, it's me and that's the sort of shit that I do or prefer to do. I've also messed up most of my other brushes. This one still has some life in it, so maybe we'll give it a try. But yeah, I've got a big old castle to paint, which is kind of exciting. I did the test paint job on the cottage, and I really liked how it turned out. So then I ordered more of the prints. I think I can actually disengage the top part, set that off to the side, because it is it's a multi-part one, so that gets real convenient for painting stuff. I will be using Citadel and other brands of miniature paint because they're the colors I'm familiar with and I like using them. So for better or for worse, that's what we're going with. Probably a little bit for worse, because I'll run out more often than not and have to buy more, but, you know, some hills you're just a little bit more willing to die on than others. And while craft paint is completely acceptable and people can use it to paint miniatures, I hate the consistency, and I don't enjoy painting with it. And when I'm painting, I want to be relaxing and having a good time. Yeah, the castle. It's the biggin. So we'll see what we can do to just get some of this painted up. I'm not going to worry about the interiors. That's a problem for future fives to figure out maybe at some point. If they're ever like, dang, these are great, but I wish I could use the interiors. So we'll figure that out. For now, though, just gonna be me using my Citadel paints to paint up this castle. I'm really excited about this project because I think I can accomplish it. The paint scheme that I chose for my candy houses, it's not particularly complicated, and most of it is me just doing freehand and little details and stuff like that, which is the part that I actually like doing and why I felt like I didn't enjoy terrain the first go round that I tried painting it a few times. So just trying to get the base coats done like as quickly as possible on these pieces. That way I can move on to the stuff I actually like doing. I know a lot of people like painting terrain though. It's not my happy place. What are you guys painting up today? Anything fun? I feel like it's been ages since I checked in on all of your projects to see where they were at. Which is a shame. Usually you guys have some really cool projects going on. There's like a little secret door in this castle? I'm deluding myself into thinking I will be able to finish up this castle and also somehow get my hands on the Malifaux Rotten Harvest box that I want to get and paint both up well before Halloween so that I can run like a Young Frankenstein meets Candyland sort of campaign. I only have 2 players at this point who are like confirmed, and I need to keep asking people if they're free to play some D&D, but I keep forgetting. And I also have to decide if I'm genuinely running like D&D as the system or if I'm gonna use something else. But in my mind, my ideal Halloween time, like I don't know if it would act like ideally I would do it on Halloween proper, um, and have a fun little campaign to play. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think most adults probably are either taking their kids trick or treating, though many of my friends do not have children, or are out like doing bar stuff on Halloween. I don't know. Last year, what did I do for Halloween? I know I only got like one trick or treater, which was a shame, but like, you know, whatever, that happens. And I watched something, but I don't remember what movie I watched. I hope it was good though. Kingpin from Marvel and some Genestealer coats. Okay. What do you think of the new Genestealer models that got announced? Genestealers have never really been, for me in particular, like I don't know what it is, they're not one of those sculpts that have gripped me. So like I saw those and I was like, oh cool, they look just like the other Genestealers. Which is kind of what I thought when I saw the new Tyranids. I was like, wow, they look really similar to the old Tyranids that they already had, just like, you know, a bit better sculpted and stuff like that. Not as kind of doofy. Give the trick-or-treaters old paint pots. They're worth more than candy. Oh dear. Well, my phone readout says that I have 21% battery, which is how much time we have for before the camera dies. So I'm going to take a look at it when it's at 15%, and then either be like, okay, I will go and grab the charger, or be like, well, that's going to be it. We'll figure that out. Hopefully that doesn't come too soon, and I have a lot of time left, but I have this nagging suspicion that that may not actually be the case. It feels like cheating sometimes to use spray cans for your base coat, and then a big brush to get your base coats on even quicker. And I'm just like, damn, if I were going with the small brush that I picked up initially, I would not be anywhere close to this side of the terrain. I'm gonna probably save this backside though, because I do want to get some footage for painting videos, because I think candy terrain might kind of be like a fun video to make. I don't know if people would be interested in it, but I want to do it. And also painting a giant candy castle kind of feels fun. Oh, they all have tactical pipes that they're standing on? That's kind of a shame. Especially if you're like, I want to do them on an alien desert landscape, like Genestealer Colts from Dune, from the movie Dune, starring Dune. then you're kind of stuck with all these tactical pipes. Try not to worry if I, like, get overspray paint from these bricks onto the rocks. I'll just cover it up with highlighting. That's what you do. I suppose it's what you can do. It's what I will likely choose to do. Oh, we are not gonna be long until we get to 15% battery. I'm gonna go grab a charger. I realize I should have done this earlier, but I didn't. That did not happen, and I'm going to solve that problem now. It's gonna be 1 second. I will be right back. I have a little, I'll just put the starting soon screen up. So, BRB. Thank you for your patience. Please stand by. All right, we are connected. We are charging. We are hopeful that this charging will work out. Just gonna set that up there. Get the cable out of the way. There we go. Burb. All right. Getting that good phone juice. Yes. Gotta get the juice. Have you guys been watching any good movies lately? I know a lot of people have seen Barbie. I haven't seen it yet. If you post spoilers, I will end this stream. I'm very excited for it. I'm gonna see it on Monday, so I've got the day picked out. Don't worry, it's happening. Just, you know, occasionally I have other things going on in my life. I unfortunately cannot immediately rush out to the cinema every time I want to. Which is a shame, genuinely. Now there's going to be another part of the building sitting on top of this, so I don't have to be the neatest with this top part either. but I'll probably leave the rest of that to film. And we'll move on to the bricks on other parts of the castle. Just set that over here. See if we can't pick out a couple of these other bricks. Like on this wizardly tower. Hello, Topher. 2 streams in one day? What, were you watching the other stream? I had unlisted that stream. For some reason, you and Josh both found it. And I was like, I was just hanging out drawing pictures with my friend. Like, I was not expecting there to be viewers. I had made it unlisted that time. So people shouldn't have been able to see it. But, yeah, I guess somehow someone found it. It maybe, I don't know, maybe YouTube had a goof. But, yeah, technically 2 streams in one day, but one of them was just me and my friend drawing pictures, like drawing the Muppets from memory and stuff like that. Drawing our Elden Ring OCs. You know, sophisticated content for discerning, friends. Oh, and then I drew a picture of Achilles as like a little cartoon cat. Apparently there's more Five Nights at Freddy's content releasing soon. And since my cat, for whatever reason, likes to watch videos of Markiplier playing Five Nights at Freddy's, I drew him like really excited for the release because I thought it was kind of silly, and it ended up being a really cute drawing. These things are not easy to keep on camera. You would think something this enormous would be pretty simple to keep in frame, but it's like, nope. That's not in frame. Is it in frame now? I don't think they'd allow my cats in the movie theater. Otherwise, yes, I would be. Because that's probably not going to be viable. We will have to make do. Maybe I'll see if it's on a streaming service or something like that so that they can watch it. I will definitely be seeing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie in theaters because I think it's funny. And also, I'm a big Jim Henson fan, so. Put him in baby strollers. I also don't think they behave. While Achilles is the one who likes FNAF and likes to socialize with people, none of my cats like car trips, so I feel like that would probably be a bad experience for them. And I don't like doing stuff that traumatizes my animals. That would be bad. But don't worry, Achilles will be plenty excited to just watch gameplay of whatever the latest game is. I've never played any of the games, so I can't really speak to how fun they are to play. But people seem to like them, and my cat is one of those people. This is the real one, Josh. Yeah, I don't know how you freaking found. Apparently, you and Atomic Topher both found my unlisted stream from before, so I don't know what's going on with YouTube. But hopefully they can fix that. I'm just painting up some terrain. Nothing too groundbreaking. We're gonna see how we get along with terrain. Historically not my favorite thing to paint, but I did find a way of painting it that I really like. So we're going to stick with that and keep going. And I really, really like the sculpts that I get to work with. They're from the Hagglethorn Hollow 3D print line, which is a cute, honestly a cute name. I dig it, so yeah. I don't have a name for my little candy city yet. I don't think I'm going to be calling it Hagglethorn Hollow, which, cause like that's a cute name, but it's not, it doesn't have like a food pun in it, so that's kind of what I gotta think up. I'm realizing now that I'm also definitely gonna need more drippy sauce accessory stuff for these houses. Should probably purchase some of that sooner rather than later. I'll have to check to see what's in the Patreon funds, and hopefully it's enough to get me some more supplies for this big silly project. Hee. But we love a big silly project. And I've never painted terrain on the channel before, because I've never really painted terrain full stop before. Well, obviously it was for your besties. So me and Topher. LOL. Nah, I was hanging out with my friend Adam. I'll ask him later, because we were drawing pictures of, like I said, like cartoon characters from memory. I'll see if he is willing to let me post it. Adam can't remember what any character from any piece of media looks like ever. It's a gift, so it's really fun to watch him draw things, because they never look like who they're supposed to, and trying to guess, like, what or who they are, it's fun. Sometimes you really just need a way to hang out and pass the time, and neither of you feel like playing a video game that day, so doing little drawing goofs is quite fun. He's been getting more serious about art recently, though, and, like, doing anatomy studies and things like that, so his drawing skills are, like, gonna improve, and then it's gonna be like, oh no, look at you knowing how to actually draw characters and stuff. But for now, it's fun, and we have fun goofing off. It feels like me just drawing in the back of math class because I did not understand what was going on and was like, I'm not gonna get this. None of this makes sense. I can't name the Candyland town Candyland because that's like copyrighted. Carbohydria? That's not bad. I have to be honest in that I don't love it, but it's not bad. Hector's Parlor? No, I'm not going to name the city after Hector. Cute as he is, he doesn't need that kind of ego boosting. He's got plenty of ego already. If I named a city after that cat, I'd never be able to hear the end of it. I think that's all the brickwork in this one. I'll inevitably miss something and have to go back and fill it in, but that's fine. Future fives can deal with that. Bam. And getting all the brickwork done here. This is like the next biggest area, so it's the easiest one to kind of fill in. There's gonna be like wood is like all the timber is the next thing to kind of block in. And with that, there's so much of it, and it's just, but it's not like big areas, it's little areas, so finding and filling in all of that is gonna take some time. And I have another little candy cottage that I am needing to paint up as well. And from there, I just keep adding buildings and stuff until I have a whole city. And will also be all of my wargaming terrain. So anyone who wants to play Warhammer at my house in the future will do so on a candy battlefield. I want to find like a candy battle mat, or maybe actually sculpt like from foam some sort of playing field to put the terrain on, but I feel like just getting the actual terrain is the first step on that journey. Sweeney Town. Lobster Sugar Halls. Oh gosh. These are some names, you guys. There was one that was mentioned in the Dimension 20 Crown of Candy campaign called Cookie Shire, which I quite liked. And there was also one called Pie Hole, which I thought was funny. And I don't think either of them are copyrighted. But I also don't know that I want to, like, take them or anything. So I'm hoping that I can come up with something. And I also want to make, like, little flags and banners and stuff with some kind of royal candy crest type thing. Have that all over everything. Because that'd just be cute and fun and silly. And I don't know if you know this about me, guys, but I like things that are cute and fun and silly also. Hershire, like Hershey. Again, trying to avoid any sort of copyright is ideal. But that one's pretty cute. I think Shire is just it's a cute little thing to put on the end of stuff. That word. Suffix. Suffix is the word that I was looking for. But I said thing to put on the end of stuff. Y'all knew what I meant. I'll have to come up with a little, like, house words kind of situation like Game of Thrones had as well. That's why you do heraldry, because it's fun. You get to make shit up. I love stuff like that. I want to, like, eventually have a full backstory for this town. And ideas of who lives in every little house and stuff. I mean, it can change, right? Like, it can evolve as I get new buildings or change campaigns or whatever else. But, like, I just think that's silly and fun and cute. Glucostenberry? That's cool. Yes, the terrain is going to work very well for my candy-themed space nights. I'm needing to finish the assembly on my last night, because I really want to get started painting that one. I miss painting nights already. And he's gonna be a banana split night, and I'm very excited about it. But, like, I definitely need to do some special things with the assembly, which I can't go into detail about exactly. You guys are just going to have to trust me. You're going to have to trust the vision. And you always do. But, like, I don't want to spoil that, you know? So, bear with me. Because there's a plan. There's definitely a plan. And I think you guys are going to like it. I hope, anyway. If it turns out good, I may enter it in Golden Demon again. Well, not again. I said I may enter Golden Demon with it, because I put a ice cream night in Golden Demon last year, and it was fun. But we'll see. We're going to wait. See what happens. Custard's Landing? Aw, that's good. I like that one. Yumshire. Or Yumshire. I suppose you would kind of blend that together when you pronounced it. I keep saying this is, like, technically Mordheim terrain, and it is-ish, because Mordheim's just a game that needs a lot of terrain, and I've played, like, a half a game of Mordheim and thought it was fun. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be nice to have terrain around for any time that I want to play war games. Like, that's just a good thing to have. But, like, I think genuinely I much prefer to just have a spot to display all my little guys. Like, that's the part I'm excited about. I just want to set it up like a little train set. Maybe I'll get a little train set. You know? Put a little train. I don't think trains are very medieval fantasy, but, like, they're very cute. Maybe there's a little candy train out there that I can get. Put little train tracks. There's got to be something. Maybe a little boat. I don't know. I'm not really a train hobbyist, but have an uncle who's very into trains, and he does, like, a big train setup every year for Christmas. So I'm sure he'd have some advice, if nothing else. Though I'm sure he wouldn't have advice on where to purchase a candy train. That's gonna be a bit of a niche one. Not many people are out there looking for that. To get really British, Donut Ford Hamptonshire. I don't know what's particularly British about that. I always associate donuts with being American, but I could be very wrong about that. It's all the America runs on Dunkin' advertising. It's gone to my head. England doesn't run on Dunkin'. They're probably the better for it. I don't know that donuts are the smartest way to start your day. They're a delicious one, but they're probably not the best. And this is coming from someone who loves donuts. There can be trains. Oh, blimps would be fun. I didn't think about that. Little candy hot air balloon or something. Very Wizard of Oz. I could always just go kind of like it's a theme park route. And then it's like, oh, that's why all the buildings are old. But there's also trains. But then, you have to find a STL for a Ferris wheel. You gotta get a carousel in there. Maybe some roller coasters. I don't know. We're building this town out now for what it is. But I'm not saying it won't evolve into something else later on. I could see myself enjoying the aspect of turning terrain into candy very quickly. Especially because when you're done, you get to, basically just have a photo shoot with your guys, and you get to be like, oh, this is my guy, and he's by some stuff. That's different from how he usually is when he's not by some stuff. Maybe you know. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just saying words. But that's okay. I really do like how much personality this terrain has. All the bricks look very hand sculpted and wonky. What I'm hoping happened is they just kind of 3D scanned in an actual physical sculpt, because that would be a really cool way of retaining that sort of hand sculpted quality. Donut dunes? No, I'd just be making Dune jokes the whole time if that was the case. Let's see if we can get back here. Alright. Sort of stacking it up here. It's looking good. It's looking nice. Yeah. Let me grab this for you. So you can see that. That showing up on camera? No, you're just seeing nothing. There we go. My camera doesn't want to focus, which is fun for everybody involved in this, I'm sure. In equal measure. There we go. The sprinkles must flow. But where's the chocolate fountain of the Sweet Meister sweets? Oh, Sweet Meister is actually a cute idea for a name for the ruling authority of the town. Nice Year Without a Santa Claus reference there. Okay, I need my, yeah. I'm gonna start doing some of the finer details now. Because we gotta block in all of the wood next. Again, I'm gonna be saving some of this for, like, painting on the actual video. So if I miss a spot, it's intentional, probably. Maybe. We're gonna hope that it is. But I'll try and paint without moving the model, so I'll try and keep it on camera. In all honesty, I should probably be filming all of this for the channel, but I'm way too eager to start painting this terrain to care about something like that. It's my hobby, and I want it to be fun first, sophisticated afterwards. Sophisticated isn't even the right word. I suppose I want it to be, like, for the channel afterwards. I dropped that paintbrush on the floor. That's fine. I want something just slightly bigger. I don't want to use my nice brush for this. Do I have another brush that I can use? Sure. Yeah. This is probably gonna work fine. Yeah. Council of Sweet Meisters, some big old aristocrats covered in candy and custard. You guys just inventing lore for this city? Making up backstories? It's fun. You have a couple ideas about what the town's whole shtick is gonna be, but I haven't really decided yet. I'm still just kind of living with the joy of having possibilities. I can just figure out what I want along the way. Got some little tough spots to get in. We're gonna do it. Now I've thought about varying up the wood color on certain buildings, because I thought that it would be funny to say it's like, oh, this is some spearmint wood because it's green, but then like I could do like a pink one and have it be peppermint wood. But I was kind of like, I think if I did pink, it might blend in too much because the rooftop is gonna end up pink. So I haven't really decided if I'm gonna end up changing any of those details going forward. I figure each house should be a little bit different, but I haven't exactly figured out like what the variation is gonna be. kind of things change. So that's also going to be another decision that future me has to make. We're counting on future fives to solve a lot of problems for us. And honestly, I think it's fair. They're gonna have more experience than current me does. They'll be wiser, theoretically. Definitely more capable. Yellow's a thought. Hello also dueling with brushes. I don't think I said hello to you before. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Big section of wood on the top of here too that I want to get to, but I can't quite reach behind there, so I'm gonna have to set this aside and turn this so I can get into that area. Hopefully the camera's gonna pick that up, but if not, I'm not moving it right now. You'll live with me not painting on camera for a couple of seconds. Thank you for your patience and understanding while I complete the part of the model that was difficult to reach. Future Fiber is gonna be super busy. Yeah, I'm sure that future... Actually, I don't know. Past me sometimes takes care of future me. Like, I made enough food that future me would be able to enjoy leftovers later. I ran the dishwasher today so that future me would have clean dishes for tomorrow. I did the grocery shopping today so future me can just chill and have a nice easy Sunday. Like, sometimes past me does take care of future me. Not always, but sometimes. It's not always as one-sided as it would seem, you know? I noticed that that was still on camera, and there's still a lot of wood to paint. Go for it. The thing is, right, we've already blocked in a significant amount of the colors, and those are like the base coats. Like, this side is basically, once I finish this little section of wood, it's all base coated. That's exciting. I get to start adding detail, which is the part I actually care about. But for someone who's just like, base coat, you could slap a wash on that, and then a lot of people are like, for terrain, that's good enough, you know? Let's go, let's use it. And that's pretty neat. It makes me feel optimistic that soon I'm gonna have a beautiful village. A yet to be named beautiful sugar village. Bad part is all the candy attracts the Skaven. Yeah. I mean, theoretically, this is for Mordheim, so theoretically it's going to be the warp stone that attracts the Skaven. I'm trying to remember to participate in the Mordheim Discord as well, so I can share project updates and try and be like, Mordheim is cool and I want to learn about it and play it. And also, please accept my silly candy projects. Who wants to play Candy Mordheim with me? But everybody's been really nice and fun and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm trying to fight with the fact that I like making up stories and painting the models more than I ever actually like playing the game. Like, I just don't have the capacity to remember all of the rules of anything very clearly. I don't like the math aspect of most games, and I feel bad about it. I like hanging out with my friends, and I like having fun. But I don't think I actually like playing like Warhammer or Age of Sigmar that much. I don't know what it is. It's just I never seem to have as much focus as I want to. I get tired by the end of it. I'm not trying to be no fake Warhammer fan, but like, I might not actually enjoy the war game I spent so much time painting miniatures for. That's kind of wild. Pop Rocks brought doom to the city. I was gonna make it like rock candy actually, because that looks pretty close to Warpstone or Weirdstone. I don't know what it is. It's Weirdstone that they're fighting over in Mordheim. But I always think that it's Warpstone because that's what the Skaven want. And there's Skaven in Mordheim. Clearly it's the same Skaven. I think it's perfectly fine as well. I just wish I had a better time when I was playing the games. I like the spectacle of it, but I don't know if I actually enjoy the games themselves as much as just hanging out. But that's why I'm hoping something like Mordheim or Necromunda is really gonna kind of drag me in, cause it's like you have to care about your little squad, and I do like caring about a little squad of guys. So I feel that stands a much better chance than anything else I've tried. Also, when I get this terrain finished up, I can play some 5 parsecs from home, because I haven't really had enough terrain to set that up, and I have my squad finished, so who's to say they can't crash land on a planet full of little candy guys? This is ridiculous, and it's cute, and I love it. There's a little door over here. Like, I want to like playing Warhammer. I really do. I think it would be really cool if I got good at it and could, like, be good at the competitive aspect and enjoy it. Hi, little frog! Thanks for lurking. It's nice to see you. I like that your username is Little Frog because I love frogs. They're, like, the best. And thinking of just, like, a little frog tuning in from their little mushroom house on, like, a TV that's made out of an acorn. It's a really cute image. Thanks for saying hi, little frog. I hope you enjoy lurking. Sorry, I got distracted. I was talking about how, like, yeah, it would be cool to, like, get really skilled and real competitive and stuff like that, but I think that's just not the part that I actually enjoy, and I'm trying to make myself enjoy it because, like, I think it would be cool if I did, and, like, it would be cool to win a tournament with my army looking the way that it does, but, like, I wouldn't be having fun. I'd just be suffering and doing math, and being anxious about playing with people I don't know. So, like, I think I've just gotta get it straight in my head that, like, it's cool that I really just only want to paint the little guys. And if I don't play with them, then, like, that's also okay. I don't have to do every aspect of the hobby. I can just like the ones that I like, and that's really chill. And if I want to build a whole table of wargaming terrain and almost never use it for wargaming, I can still do that. There's no one stopping me but myself. And also budgetary restrictions. Space is not a concern because I am fortunate enough to have an entire room in my house just for painting Warhammer. Not everybody gets to have that, but I do. A whole room just to store all of my little guys. It's very special. Getting a little sloppy and making some mistakes, but that's okay. We'll fix it in post. It's also scarily accurate. Oh, I'm sorry, little frog. I didn't mean to interrupt or scare you. I'm glad that there do exist little frogs out there in mushroom houses with acorn TVs. It's not that I'm spying. I loved Beatrix Potter illustrations as a child, so I'm kind of devastated that animals don't go around wearing little waistcoats. And before I got addicted to playing Bloodborne, I pretty much only played Animal Crossing. And, like, they don't live in mushroom houses in Animal Crossing, but for the Mushroom Festival, you can get mushroom furniture, and that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Yeah, sometimes you want to build an army of little scrungly guys, and you don't have to play with them. I just want to, like, do armies on parade and have my knights look cool and be candy themed. Like, that's enough to me. I should build a really fun display board for them somehow and send it into GW official and be like, hello, here's my guys, please put them in your magazine. Thank you. Bye. Fiverr Bureau of Investigation. Okay, you gotta like the meat grinder game from Adepticon that Trent was talking about. By the way, wild to me that I was in a miscast video. Like, I don't know if you guys understand that I would never have made this channel without Miscast. Trent's been one of, if not the biggest hobby inspiration of mine. And the fact that he's always just like, just fucking do the thing that you want to do. And, like, people will help you and be generous and stuff. Like, it's all good. And it's never like, do this for a competition level or do this by the book with GW. Like, he just makes cool shit in his little studio. And I love that. It's very inspiring because I would just like to make cool things in a little studio for a living. Like, that seems wildly cool. He's also a very, very lovely, like, person. I was lucky to meet him at Adepticon. But the fact that also, yes, he did sculpt me that little clown goblin, and that now, I'm in a Miscast video. Wild. Like, I didn't think that would happen ever when I made this channel. You hope for stuff like that. Like, oh, it'd be really cool if the people that I admire check out one of my videos sometime. But I never assumed that I would be in anybody else's videos, and god damn if I'm not there. That's pretty neat. That is pretty damn neat. I still haven't fully processed how much emotion that makes me have, but it's a lot. It's very cool. Yeah, it was definitely like a dream moment for me, and I'll cherish it. And also cherish the, like, genuine friendships that I have with other creators because of meeting them at Adepticon. Like, I hope it happens, but I was joking because I had mentioned learning how to play Necromunda, and Eric from Eric's Hobby Workshop was like, oh man, I want to play some Necromunda, so challenged him to a game, and I hope that ends up working out, and next time at Adepticon, I don't know that I'll cart all my candy terrain up there with me. I don't know how much car space there will be. I hope there's enough, because, like, wouldn't that be fucking sweet as hell to just be like, hey, you want to play Necromunda or Mordheim, but also I have custom candy terrain because you're playing with me, the person with a candy channel. Like, that would be really fun, but I don't know if that's gonna end up working out. We'll see. I think I can make it happen, but I'll have to have enough terrain by that point. And specify with the people that I'm traveling with, like, hey, I know this is kind of a lot, but do you think we could make this happen? So that I have enough room to transport terrain. We'll see. If you are gonna be at Adepticon and you wanna play on some candy terrain though, like, let me know. 'Cause if I bring it, I'll certainly, like, let you play a game. I'm not good at many games, and you'll see how truly bad at math I am, but always willing to learn, willing to have a good time. Yeah, looks like that base coat is done. Hell yeah. We're getting a lot more accomplished on this, frankly, than I thought was gonna happen. I need to save the topmost part for this one for the video, just to make sure that, like, you know, you have content. Gotta film stuff happening, but this is looking pretty good. And of course it's got this ice cream cone for the top, which I can't decide if I'm going to leave that kind of pink and purple and just like painted designs, or if I'm going to paint it to look like an actual ice cream cone. That's another very important decision that we have to make at some point in time. And I don't know when exactly that's going to be. There are some bricks I missed up here that I should probably fill in, so we'll do that. Ah, Barely Tamed. That sounds awesome. Dog Mage? Are you on our free to join hobby Discord channel? Because if not, anyone watching, including a little frog, can join. It's free. It's fun. And that's the best way for me to see pictures of your little guy. You can join if you have Discord, or if you have Instagram, you can DM me and I can check it out there. But like if you put it on Discord, then everybody can see it. And I also am on that Discord way more than any person should ever be on a Discord. So like, if you want to send me pictures of anything, I'm usually pretty active. Yes, let's see. If you post it, there's like a, there should be, towards the bottom, there's a things we talk about on stream channel. That would be the ideal channel to post that in. I see that you joined. I'm very interested. Hi, Dan Random. Welcome. Well, I can't say I know how you got here either. Maybe there's just like a vortex that's pulling people in. My name's Fiverr. I use they, them pronouns, and I like to paint Warhammer terrain and stuff like that like it's made out of candy. That's the channel's whole shtick, basically. So, like, even just guys that I have lying around, like, I'm working on this guy, he's gonna be, like, a candy vampire. You can see that his bat has, like, waffle cone wings, and he's got a licorice belt and stuff. I don't know where it comes from, okay? I just do the thing. It's you could say it's divine inspiration, but I honestly don't know that I serve any kind of god whatsoever, except maybe sugar in general. But yeah, this is my channel. So happy to be here. I'm glad you're here. Stay a while. Yeah, the miniatures are... If you've not, like, seen any miniature painting at all before, they're very small. The castle that I'm painting is extremely large, but it's, like, terrain that, like, the little guys can stand on, and it's like, oh, I can see your guy over there, and then it's like, oh, well, you can't see my guy up here. There's no line of sight and shit like that. I don't but we like to make little terrain for our little guys, and this is my first big terrain project. Yes, also, there's a Discord link if you want to join, and hang out and stuff. Okay, so you've seen miniatures before, but only through a macro lens. Fair enough. Yeah, they're very tiny. Oh, Deacon, that's cool. A poodle wizard, man. I love how weird miniatures are getting. Like, that's so fun to see. I've reposted the link to the Discord in case you'd like to join. No pressure. We'd love to have you, but like, yeah, this is just what we're doing. We're just hanging out, painting. If you have a hobby project that you're working on, like, that's cool. I think sometimes people just put on streams, like, in the background. Like, sometimes I'll be writing out, the latest, exploits of my Elden Ring character in my little calligraphy journal that I've been keeping. And I'll have someone playing a video game on in a stream in the background. And I didn't realize before I started streaming, like, people just do that with all kinds of streams, which is really cool. It's kind of weirdly comforting. It feels like you just sort of have a sibling playing video games in the other room. And I kind of like that. So I assume that people watch this stream, if not while they're hobbying, for a similar kind of effect. And that's neat. But yeah, we've definitely got some big choices to make as to whether we paint this ice cream cone to look like an ice cream cone, or whether we're going to kind of keep this pink-purple gradient. I'm leaning towards making it look like an ice cream cone. But I don't know. I'm not committing to anything yet. This is still new territory for me. But I've always imagined having like a sort of castle-y type structure with ice cream cone towers, and making that a reality is pretty cool. Oh, you're a digital modeler? Dude! That's so cool! Yes! I want to see your work. That's awesome! I am right there with Little Frog. That would be so cool. I need people to make more candy stuff, because I have to take pre-existing stuff and make it candy. Like, I guarantee you, this is a kit bash that my friend Roz made me, who's also a Discord mod. Very cool. Gummy worm tail. But this didn't look like candy before I started painting it. So, I love when stuff does look like candy. I have so many fewer choices to make once that happens. But I imagine most people do not specialize in candy-themed miniatures. I kind of carved out that niche for myself. And I don't regret it. Believe me. I'm quite happy with it. Alright, so we're not going to do the wood here, because we need to film some of that for a video. And we're not going to do the brick on the back part, because we need to film some of that for a video. So, what can we do? I can grab the cottage that I have and start base coating that, because I have that cottage. Ugh. So let me move this off the table, and I'll grab my other piece of terrain. I know, it's a little sad. I want to make more progress on this, but we gotta do the things for the videos sometimes. And I'll just... It's like one of those cooking shows. Here's one that I baked earlier. And here's the one that we have now. So, like, this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. It's beautiful. It's charming. We love to see it. I'm probably gonna do a different flavored drip effect on it. This is like a strawberry one, but I have other drips. I got chocolate and caramel and pineapple, or I guess butterscotch, depending on if you are, that's caramel or that's butterscotch or whatever. I've got different flavors, which is fun for me. Okay, fair. Yeah, hard surface. There's a big difference between hard surface and organics, but like, it's hard. I struggle to make architectural stuff feel interesting. Like, I really love these models because they're really weird and kind of they feel hand sculpted as opposed to like really precise and industrial. And that's like, I like things that look kind of off kilter. Ooh, that still had some teal on it. We need to get that off there. That's not looking the right color. But I mean, there's skill required intense skill required, whether you go hard surface or organic, and I'm astonished. I had learned some 3D sculpting with Maya and ZBrush before. I really didn't like it. My brain doesn't kind of think on that XY axis like they want you to. So, I always had a tough time with it. Ross is probably just busy. Like, like anyone. Has a life. Can't expect everybody to tune into every stream. That's just not realistic. You never got to see the little buildings being painted before? Yeah, I mean, people 3D print them and then we paint them up. We like having little things. I mean, it looks really good when you got your little candy guy next to a little candy house. I love shit like that. It's adorable. Yeah, it was never really the medium that I cared for. So I don't 3D sculpt. I kind of know the basics and stuff, but it's not the sort of thing I enjoy. So I mean, I don't have the subscription to it or anything like that anymore because those programs are expensive. So I just enjoy the work of other sculptors and apply myself to painting, which is the part that I actually enjoy. So I guess I could do textures at some point, but even then, I don't really want to do it by like looking at the texture map. I prefer to paint it on directly the way I'm doing now. So yeah. Plus, I like having physical little guys. That's really exciting. I hope though that you enjoy like sculpting stuff, and that if you do make little like STLs of any of your buildings or anything like that, that people print them out and paint them, and you get to see that someday because that's probably really neat as a sculptor. It's not like Hansel and Gretel. No, I can understand why you would think that, but this is just me. I just like painting stuff to look like candy. I don't know why. Um, I don't know, but this is just what I do. Um, there's not a really good or compelling reason. I just like to do it, so I do. I can't explain it. Um, there's no genuine reason except that I always like the things that I paint to look like they're made out of candy more than the things that I paint when I'm like, oh, this is gonna be not candy. So you gotta chase that high, I guess. And like, if this is the niche that I enjoy painting in, why change? I can always kind of figure out something if this stops being the part that's fun for me. But for now, I'm having a great time. I see no reason to change. Yeah, money is kind of one of the bigger limiting factors in 3D sculpting because some of that software is expensive, and then it does take a lot of time to learn how to use as well. I've heard that Blender is good. A lot of people seem to be using that, but I haven't tried that one out. Again, it's been ages since I 3D sculpted anything, and I don't really super intend to go back. Kind of good. I had my attempt with it. I didn't love it. Now I do this, which I do love. Although I still continue to make really niche projects that probably uh, no one else would be like, oh yeah, that's the terrain that I want. At least that's what I thought. But then watching A Crown of Candy was really cool because the whole time I was like, oh, I like this because it is candy themed. Like, I know they're just kind of doing it for like a Candyland bit, but like I was just genuinely having the best time. You could not have made a D&D campaign more suited to my interests than that, really. Violent political intrigue a la Game of Thrones, but also candy? Yes. Perfect. So, there is a niche out there. You just gotta find it. Okay. Fair. Limited color palettes are something I've been wanting to try more and more. But thinking about it, I kind of want to try like a signature color palette because I do seem to have colors that I keep returning to. Like specifically Scrag Brown, Mornfang Brown, Gauss Blaster Green, a Bone Color, Moon Yellow, and like the Reaper miniatures limited edition breast cancer awareness month pink that I have like 8 bottles of courtesy of Zambies. But yeah, I tend to paint with those same colors a lot because they make a really solid candy palette. And I don't think that's wrong. Maybe I should try blending some colors and like using a wet palette and stuff, but who knows? I'm happy with how this is going so far. I don't mind. Again, once you kind of remove any element of like, I'm doing this to get better or I'm doing this for a competition, I find that like I don't care that I'm reusing the same colors. Why am I using them? Oh, they're the colors I like using. I enjoy how they look and I have a fun time with them. That they do the thing that I need them to do. Wow. Crazy. There's like continuous improvement is cool and neat, but it's also incredibly draining when everyone wants your best from you and something new and different all of the time. So I aggressively try not to be that way with my own hobby, which I'm supposed to be doing to relax and have a nice time. It's an incredibly specific shade of pink. Yes, it is. When I first started painting miniatures, that was the shade of pink that I used as like the primary color for my orcs army. Because I got it free when I ordered some miniatures from Reaper Bones. Because, you know, when you first start like buying stuff, Reaper is super cheap and it's easy to get stuff from them. And I didn't realize they'd include it for free, but I didn't have another pink paint at the time, so I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. Didn't realize that that would just be a color that I didn't know the color of, so when it ran out, I was like, oh, crap, I don't know how to get more of this. But I was very fortunate that the Goobertown community does a Goobertown Secret Santa, like, every year. And I got Zambies as an exchange, like, she was my Secret Santa. And she must have seen me posting about that at some point in time. She has a partnership, like a sponsorship with Reaper, and was able to get me, like, 8 bottles of the stuff. So I just have probably enough to last me the rest of my hobby career of that paint. It's a great shade of pink. I like it a lot. But yeah, that was a really cool gift to get. And I was like, oh, this is such a thoughtful, kind thing. And that's another thing. Like, people in this hobby will just be extremely kind to you. And it's so neat and so cool. Restores a lot of my, like, faith that the world is gonna turn out okay in the end. I've met so many wonderful people. Just because we all like to do the same thing in our spare time. We all just like painting our little guys. you're used to hex codes or manually blending a new color every time. Is it eye-opening? Just this, like, I just happen to have a lot of the same paint. It's not even the same shade necessarily every time. Like, here's one, and then this shade of pink looks very different before I guess you shake it, and then they're mostly the same, and then this one's still mostly the same. This one's a little bit more purple. And then this one is, I guess, a little bit more pink. And then this is the one that I'm currently using. And I probably have another one in another desk somewhere. But yeah, tons of the stuff. If you get this, use it. It's a great shade of pink. It can be. It depends on how you choose to store your stuff. So I'll show you. I'll give you a little setup tour. I don't think I ever actually edited the video for my new studio that I've been meaning to do, but depression. So these are like a bunch of paint racks that I have on my desk. As you can see, there's kind of projects spread out across it. Also, my I need to throw it away pile of drinks that I've consumed. The trash can right there, the drinks, the trash can, the drinks, the trash can. These are my cool Dairy Queen posters on the wall. These are all my RPG and wargaming books, and also a Neopet. There's a little Moomin. I've got some of the paints and washes that I like to have ready to hand up here, so you can kind of zoom back, and then that's like the desk. And then there's like a L-shaped part of the desk where the computer is. I've got more paints in here, and I've got a little paint storage. Unfortunately, the Turbo Dork paints don't fit in the little holes, so they're just back there. And then in this lower drawer, I've got, this is all material for basing, so like little tufts of grass and stuff like that. And then this is, for the most part, also my little turntable for photographing stuff is in here. But this is like spare pieces of plastic, and like the models come on these sprues that you can put together, and that's just like spare parts. I don't tend to kit bash as much as other people, but that's kind of the basic setup. I've also got some minis in a display cabinet over there. In the closet is a bunch of unorganized hobby stuff. And then this is the gaming table. As you can see, I had some Magic the Gathering going earlier. And then that's the castle, which looks really cool from far away. But yeah, that's the basic setup of my hobby space. Everybody's is going to be a little different. I'm sure there's like a ton of miniature painting desk room tours and stuff. The posters are for inspiration while painting, yes, absolutely. I love them. I love a vintage thing that reminds me of my childhood, so the Dairy Queen stuff. Used to go to Dairy Queen all the time. But yeah, I mean, I recently redid the hobby room, so there's still a lot of stuff that I'm looking to put on the walls and decorate a bit more, but it's starting to have the right vibe. Yep, I got some sprue goo somewhere, which is what you're describing. The sprues into plastic glue. Yep. Those ones still have, like, useful parts on them, and sometimes it's easier for me to just organize them. So, like, for the different Warhammer factions, if I'm going to be storing the sprues, it's sometimes easier to keep, like, oh, all the orcs are on the orc sprue, the spare parts. All the Tau are on the Tau sprue. I try to keep my hobby space organized. I would say, and I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I would say my hobby setup is a little bit more organized than the average hobbyist. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, but I've made a large effort to make sure that everything had a place to return to. And I have a room large enough where that is, like, able to be organized in kind of an aesthetic way. So I would think that it might look a little nicer than some other setups. Which is, honestly something that I value and I do not take for granted. I'm gonna move this one before I accidentally get paint on it, because that almost happened. Keeping everything in piles is fine. I have a little bin. My closet is where all the disorganization is. So you can't see that. I'm not going to show that on camera. Because there's a lot of stuff that is just everywhere. And I need to organize it better and get like a little bookshelf to put stuff in. But I haven't done that yet. So it lives in shambles and chaos, and that's fine. We will eventually sort that out. And it'll be fine. And I'm not going to worry about it right now. Because the actual desk has stayed... I mean, there's a little bit of chaos. You saw the drink pile, but it's been relatively clear. Hello, Chris. Welcome. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you. Painting some candy terrain. Join us. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me how you been. Hope you're having a nice Saturday night. Candy corn. Yeah, a couple people have definitely made candy corn jokes before. I painted a corn demon like popcorn once. I also have a bunch of Tyranids that I'm supposed to be painting. I mean, I got hit with depression pretty bad, which is what tends to happen. I had all these projects lined up that I wanted to do for videos, but then I just didn't feel like making videos for a while. I still kind of don't feel like going through editing for a lot of things, but I'm trying to work up some motivation to do so. Editing can be a really time-consuming process, and sometimes you're like, I just want to paint the things and enjoy the part of this that I like. So sometimes I just need to do that, and I don't do this for a living. I wish I did, but I don't. So having a full-time job, it's like, I just want to unwind. That's why there hasn't really been a new video for me in a while. I got really burnt out and stuff, but I'm hoping to recover from that and make some videos soon. I just want, before I do any of that, I intend to take care of myself and also make sure that I'm having a good time doing the stuff that I like doing, because that's why I started making videos in the first place. And if I forget that, then I'm just going to be miserable and making content for content's sake, and that's not what I want to do. But y'all are really sweet, and you've been super patient with me. Oh, that is a reminder. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're hoping to eventually see a video or get, like, notified about when the next stream is, you could subscribe to the channel if you wanted to. That would be really cool. YouTube probably would like that. That's the only bit of shilling, besides, like, inviting people to the Discord server if they want to, that I'll do. But YouTube likes when I tell people to do that, so, you gotta occasionally appease the almighty algorithm gods. Oh god, I hate Nurgle, Dan. Nurgle is my least favorite Warhammer faction. Everybody who's frequent viewers seem to really want me to paint Nurgle. They have failed twice, actually 3 times, to get me to paint Nurgle. There have been 3 instances when I have said, if this happens, then I will paint a Nurgle miniature and make a video about it. The first time was when I reached 1,000 subscribers. I made a poll for what people wanted to see me paint. The majority chose Space Marines, so I painted a Space Marine. But Nurgle was one of the options. The second time was my friend Mark was coming to Adepticon, and he and I played a game of Malifaux, and if I lost, he would have to paint... if I lost, I would have to paint Nurgle, and if he lost, he has to watch the first 26 episode season of Neon Genesis Evangelion. He lost. And then the third time was for the Fabulous Marines charity. If I was one of the top 5 people with, in terms of donation amounts for people bidding on this little Space Marine guy that I painted, then I would paint a Nurgle. But none of those have come to pass, and I am once again marked safe from painting Nurgles. Hee hee hee. Oh, that sounds fun. Frostgrave. Yeah, I hear that's a good one. What kind of team are you running for Frostgrave? I know that Necromancers seem to be popular. Are you playing Necromancers, or are you playing something else? Come to think of it, Necromancers are actually the only faction that I know of for Frostgrave. I think I know about them through, like, Jeremy from Black Magic Crafts videos on the subject. I am not secretly Nurgle. I will not be painting Nurgle for Christmas. And I have been marked safe from the Plague Father thus far. So as long as I don't enter into any more silly little bets, then I'm good. Oh, also, I'd be loath to forget to admit that Josh and I do have an agreement that when I get to 4 million subscribers, which isn't going to happen, I'll get a tattoo of a sassy Nurgling. That's what he said. I think it was 4 million. It may have been 1 million. The word million was in there, so I felt pretty good about not having to worry about that. Though, considering I did just get a tattoo of a Furby, I don't know if I'm in, like, the right mind space to be making bets about tattoos. I will get most things tattooed. I love a silly little guy. I'm glad that the YouTube brought you here, Dan. It's been a delight. It's not often that we get to, like, kind of welcome someone into the community and also tell them so much about stuff and painting and share our little hobby. Like, I'm sure that must be fun for you because you model things, but you don't, like, if you're selling them as STLs, it's not like anyone reaches back out to the sculptor half the time and is like, oh, here's what I did with the thing that you made. But that's gotta be nice to see, like, what happens on the other side and that people really have a great deal of affection for the things that they choose to paint or play with or add into their armies. It's a nice kind of, like, symbiotic relationship, you know? Like one of them shrimps cleaning out between the shark's teeth and stuff like that. Yeah, if you do get a sassy Nurgling tattoo, obviously show that to us. You ran an enchanter dwarf wizard and his band of dwarven miners. Ooh, crystal constructs sound cool. No, don't make it a sassy nurgling. Make it something. No. Make a combat wombat. The pun is right there. A wombat who is ready for combat and wears like one of those little World War II hats. World War II? I don't know. The ones where they're like the I don't know. I don't know how to describe hats in periods of war. They just kind of are like a little flattened dome kind of thing. I just feel like a wombat would look really cute and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like somebody should make a model of a wombat and call it a combat wombat, and I'm sad that they haven't yet, because it's a funny joke. It's probably not, but I just want it to exist. So I'm gonna will it into existence. I also really want a model of my little guy, my little talkie guy in the corner. That's Starboy, my little mascot. They're like a little alien character that I've been drawing for forever. And I would love to paint up a 3D model of them sometime. We'll see. Maybe that'll happen in the future. That can be a goal that I work towards. Milkshake nurgling. It'll be a nurgling gurgling. Oh no. Okay. Maybe one of you will know. There's only 7 viewers, but like maybe some of you had the same My Chemical Romance brain rot that I did as a youth. But in the Ghost of You My Chemical Romance video, like those helmets that they're wearing in the war flashback scenes. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it or YouTube it, and then somebody who knows about wars can be like, oh, it's this helmet. It's not even from World War II. You were wrong. And I'll be like, okay, I admit to not knowing anything about the wars. It kind of looks like a little pie plate, but not really. Not really much at all. I don't know why I said that if it's not the thing that it looks like, but I'm trying here. I'm struggling. I don't know what the helmet is called. Genuinely, I have no idea. And I do not want to just Google all these helmets because I need to make progress on the miniature that I'm painting. Although we've been making good progress. Like, don't get me wrong. I just don't know. Some of you are probably right. The more to the point is that a combat wombat should exist in some capacity. And it doesn't currently, and stuff. You've posted it in Discord. Okay, I can check that. Hang on. Yes. The helmet that has been posted is the correct helmet. I don't know what the color of that is, but that is the correct one. Did this just snap? I don't know what the fuck happened. My neighbor's dogs are out in the backyard, and they're being very loud and distracting. So if you can hear them, I'm sorry about that. The British salad bowl. Okay, that's the Tommy/Brody helmet. I will not remember that the next time I go on a rant about the Combat Wombat, but I appreciate you guys helping. It's very kind of you. The British helmet from World War II. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know which faction it belonged to. Salad bowl helmet works. But yeah, I just think a little wombat wearing that helmet. And he's got like maybe a little vest or something. Would be pretty cute. Don't know why. It's not an important idea. And if you feel like you should be sculpting a sassy nerdling and that's what strikes your fancy and you're like, that's what I want to do as my first organic modeling project, like, do that. I'm never gonna be like, holy shit, Nurgle is the best. But you should make whatever little passion project strikes you, because that's how you end up with stuff like Candy Terrain and things like this YouTube channel. It's, following that weird little voice inside your head that's like, do this thing instead of the normal thing. You know? Yeah, sculpting fur is probably a little bit much, but it, like, if you go kind of cartoony with it, right, you can just sort of be like, there's a couple little lumps here and there that are stylized. That means that it's fur. Kind of like, you know, early video game style before they could render fur on stuff. I don't know. I don't know what kind of things you want to model or not and what your style is. Yeah, making weird stuff is just fun. There's so much stuff that I'd like to have if I were a really talented 3D modeler. Like, I'd love to get kind of like a bust sculpt of one of my Elden Ring or Bloodborne characters to paint up. Like, I just feel like that would be really fun, cuz I could be like, this is my little guy that I went through all of the Dark Souls with. Um and like, I'm sure there's a way to extract the model from the file if I played on computer or something. But I play on PlayStation because my computer would die if I tried to run fancy games on it. But I've always liked the idea of, like, being like, this is exactly what my character looks like, and I can just have their little face and paint it up and stuff. But I get really attached to my video game characters. I just think it's fun to try and figure out and explain why that particular little nameless little guy is lost in this horrible world of eldritch horrors, living through Miyazaki's just blatant Berserk fan fiction. I watched the Berserk series for the first time like a couple of months ago, and I just kept going, wow, this is just like in Bloodborne. Wow, this is like this is like freaking Dark Souls. This is like Elden Ring. Yeah, all of it is just Berserk fan fiction. That's all it is. And it's great, and we love it. Yeah, you don't have to sculpt an animal if you don't want to. Sculpt something else. Sculpt your little nurgling and then post him in the Discord if you want to. Or I mean honestly, post anything that you've sculpted. People would love to see it. I'm sure we'd all really enjoy that. I don't know if we have even. You might be the first experienced 3D modeler in the group. So, like, that's pretty cool. I'm glad YouTube was like, hey, watch this weirdo paint a candy castle. You're gonna enjoy it. Do not make me a nurgling. That I'm gonna put a sharp no on that. Don't fucking do that. That's a no. I do not license mine or my character's likenesses to be made into nurglings. Hard pass. Hell yeah. Keep him busy. That's all we can do sometimes. The world is like super gross and angry, especially if you're like even slightly nonconformist in terms of gender or sexual identity or anything. The world's like, hey, did you know that people will hate you and we're gonna constantly remind you about that all the time? And it's like, can I just hang out? Can I just like make spaghetti and watch cartoons and go to bed? Would that be cool? And it's like, oh, you wanted to scroll on your little apps and just have a nice little good time? Why don't we tell you about all of the political turmoil in the world? And I'm like, no. I just want to go. I just want to see the funny videos, please. It's not like sticking your head in the sand, but God, it can be exhausting. And then you're like, well, I guess I can't do that to relax anymore. So let me just, I don't know. Somehow they've not managed to stick giant advertisements about how scary things are in the world of miniature painting yet. So I'm going to keep enjoying this hobby while I can. Listen, we tend to discredit ourselves, okay? I've only been painting miniatures for like about 3 years now, and I keep having this voice in my head being like, you're not very good at this, and you're not actually like a miniature painter or anything. But then I went to a convention called Adepticon, and I don't know if you will have heard of this or not, but I'm just going to tell the story because I'll get on a roll, and then I'll check out your stuff in the Discord server. But I went to this convention called Adepticon, which is like the big Warhammer convention, the biggest Warhammer painting contest, the like really prestigious one that everybody's really excited about is called Golden Demon, and it happens there in America. Like the American Golden Demon happens there, and like all of the big YouTube hobby channel folks gather there, and it's just a couple of days of hanging out. There's tons of vendors and events, and it's the best time of the year, truly. But I decided I was going to enter something in Golden Demon just to see what it was like. And I was very nervous about it because I am not the typical Warhammer player in terms of appearance and also in terms of subject matter that I choose to paint, i.e., making everything look like candy. And I was really afraid that people were going to like make fun of me and stuff like that. And I was a little bit terrified to enter my guy in the Golden Demon. I painted this Imperial Knight, and I made him a strawberry sundae, and he was holding a big old Dairy Queen spoon like it was a power sword. But I was really nervous and stuff like that. I couldn't even properly say that I was entering him in Golden Demon. I just kept saying I was dropping him off at daycare so I wouldn't freak out about it. But then I dropped him off, and throughout the rest of the convention, people were complimenting him, and they were smiling when they saw him in the case and stuff like that. And like the people I was hanging out with would talk about stuff, and they'd be like, oh, what did you put in? Did you enter anything? and I'd be like, yeah, I did the ice cream night, and they all were all like, oh yeah, I saw that one, it was really cool and stuff, and I was starting to kind of feel good about it. And then, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to win because it's judged by the Warhammer people, and they're going to pick something that's like, this is a Space Marine painted in the canon color scheme. So I wasn't expecting to win or anything like that. But when I went to pick him up, I decided to go and see if I could find a better carrying solution because I just kind of transported him in a plastic bucket, which means I had to walk all through the vendor's hall with my little guy, and about every fourth or fifth step I took, somebody stopped me to either ask for a picture of him or tell me that they really liked it or ask me about it and stuff. And I was so overwhelmed, but so many people were saying so many nice things. Even when I was walking by the like official Games Workshop store booth that they had, the people working there stopped to take a look and say that it was really cool. And like so many nice people said so many nice things to the point where they were overriding my anxiety and like my imposter syndrome because there simply were too many people saying things about my work for them all to have been lying, that my anxiety could not keep up with the amount of validation that I was getting from complete strangers. So from that moment on, I'm like, I'm not doubting myself or discrediting myself when it comes to miniature painting anymore. I am a proper artist. I am a proper miniature painter. I am both respected by my peers and talked about in the biggest art conventions, so to speak, for this hobby. So I just try to stop that and remember that I am good at the stuff that I do. So it doesn't really matter how much experience you have, or if you are like, oh man, maybe I'm not. You are. You are good enough, and you're a talented artist, and your work is cool and valid. And yes, of course, you can always improve and try to get better, but you're good where you are now, and that is also important. There's photos of the knight on my Instagram. There's also a couple of videos about him on my YouTube channel if you want to check him out. Sorry, that was kind of a long rant, but it's like a whole story. Oh shit, look at that. You got like a fucking guy with like a skull faceplate thing? That's sick as hell. I like the teeth. Those are neat. That's a cool design. I think that's rad. How do I get back to the stream? There we go. I tried to play Death Stranding, but I hated it. I played it for like 12 minutes and was like, I don't like this game. I'm not really an asset management kind of person, and I was hoping it would be like horrific and stuff. And honestly, I wanted to like it, but the black inky stuff wasn't really scaring me or whatever. And the baby was like an interesting concept that I wanted to find out about, but I just didn't like the actual gameplay. So I have no idea what happens in Death Stranding. Maybe I should watch a playthrough sometime, but I feel like it's just gonna be a bunch of Uber Eats through the same very pretty but ultimately unstylized landscape. Batman is also cool. I'm not really a superhero person. Very tired of superhero movies. The only superhero movie that if you ask me, hey, do you want to watch this, like right now, that I would ever agree to, would be Hellboy or Hellboy 2, because I'm a big Del Toro fan, and I love Abe Sapien. He's great. And I think the Hellboy movies are good. I like the second one better than the first, even though everybody says it's worse. But I like that there's like a weird clockwork kind of army, and also Abe Sapien is in it more. So that makes it better. I just love Doug Jones is great. I hope Del Toro keeps making him play weird little fish guys, cuz he's found his niche. The mask is inspired by Black Mask, one of the villains. Cool. Don't know that villain. I think most of my Batman knowledge is like the Nolan trilogy and also the first half of Batman the Animated Series. I like Killer Croc. He's fun. He's dumb. Love that for him. Yeah, I don't know if I ever got to the Ludens part of Death Stranding or if I just forgot because I've played a lot of video games between now and then. That's one of those, like, weird... I just call them the Weird Squad, which is, like, Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, Kojima, and Del Toro, who are all friends for some reason. Like, they just seem like they hang out together, and it's like, how did you guys ever meet up? Like, what is going on here? None of that makes sense, but I'm glad they're friends. It's like the universe stuck them together on a group project and they just really liked it and keep hanging out. Well, I haven't seen the David Harbour Hellboy, 'cause I heard that Del Toro wasn't directing it, and then I heard that there also wasn't gonna be Abe Sapien in it. And I was like, well then that's probably not gonna be a movie that I enjoy very much. And I also still don't really love the superhero genre, so I just never went to see it. And then I heard that it was bad and that they weren't going to keep making more of them because it was bad. And I was like, alright, cool. Problem solved. According to the actors, Kojima was the mad scientist of the three. Okay. Fair enough. I could see that. I'm really hoping, like, obviously I support the writers and actors strike. They are asking for completely reasonable things, and the studios should give them what they're asking for and more. Will never cross a picket line or anything like that. Full support, 10 out of 10. Donate to the Entertainment Community Strike Fund, I think it's called, if you can. I hope that the projects that I am most hoping to see do not get canceled as a result of this, because there is supposedly an adaptation of Frankenstein in the works that Del Toro directed. And Frankenstein is probably my favorite, like, classic literature story. I love it so much. And to me, Del Toro is one of those directors that just gets monster stories very good, very well, very interesting. So to have him adapt, like, the first good monster story is like, yeah, I want that. I hope that project doesn't die. I would love it so much if it didn't die. You want the poor Evangelion man to make a game? Let him rest. Just let him have a very long nap and some good food. I feel like he's spent too long tied up in Neon Genesis Evangelion. I hope he gets some sleep. He seems like he's had a lot going on in his life. Oh, that's so cool, Lucius. That's awesome. Mary Shelley is, like, such a role model, not a role model, but like I guess a hero. I don't know, whatever you call him when you're like, man, that person is cool, and like I really think their life was interesting and stuff like that. I don't know. She's like someone that I would do a book report on now if the universe was like, for your job you have to do a book report, but like I'm an adult now and I'm not being asked to do book reports. You don't need to be a tortured artist to make good cartoons. That is not accurate. The whole reason that the anime industry is so fucked up in terms of like people not being given appropriate timelines to make things or being paid adequately is because the original like anime industry guy, basically a man named Sama Tezuka, yeah, who created like Astro Boy and the Kingdom of the White Lion series and probably a couple of other things, was trying to convince television networks to like sponsor to fund an anime project. He wanted to make Astro Boy, and they were like, nah, we don't really know about this and stuff, and probably it's cartoons are just a fad, and like we're not really looking to front the money for all that. And so like he was like, in order to get this made and to have this be like a thing that is good for you, we will work for very, very little in a very short timeline to make this, but we'll have all the profits from merchandising will be ours and stuff. So like that's how we'll make that money back. And the studios were like, oh, we don't actually have to invest in this in order to make this happen. Like, we don't have to give you that much money. You'll do it for cheap. Sure, whatever. So he makes his cartoon and stuff, and it's a big hit, and it's like, great, awesome. So now that we've shown you that we can make this on an extreme budget and an unrealistic timeline, could we like have a real budget and a much more realistic timeline? But then all of the companies were basically like, oh, well, now we know what the bare bones is, the budget for the thing that we can do. Let's never give you the full budget and timeline that you need. So that kind of backfired in a major way and is unfortunately still problems today. It's also why I am not an animator, because I cannot deal with an industry like that. I just would collapse. Not that I'm Japanese and would be working in the anime industry, but like the American one, it ain't much better. There's so much crunch in these industries and so much that you hope gets reformed in the future. It would be nice to see a big change, and I think that we should have fewer projects if it means that the people working on them are reasonably accommodated and well paid and not severely overworked. I think that would be a good thing all round. And even if one of the things that gets sacrificed in the process of making that happen is Del Toro's Frankenstein, like, it's worth it. It's worth it to sacrifice things in order for people to have nice lives. Like, that would be cool. I'm hoping that things change in the animation industry in my lifetime, but who knows? We certainly do achieve a lot of great art, but like, I also think that maybe Mr. Hideaki Anno, he had a rough time making NGE. And I would like to think that we wouldn't keep demanding things from him, like video games. Unless he wants to make them. I don't know. I just feel like after all of that, and after however many fucking Ava films there are, probably all of them with the same extreme crunch time, it would be nice if this man could retire and take some naps. Maybe he doesn't want to, but I would like that for him. Yeah, it seems pretty tough. I thought about like trying to do freelance stuff, but I hate marketing myself. I'm just not really about that. Just I mean, like, it would be really cool if I could do this YouTube thing professionally or do painting models professionally, but like I would have to actually paint what other people wanted or make stuff on other people's timelines or things like that. And I keep having to remind myself to do this as a hobby because it is fun and a good way to relieve stress. And that's valid. If, like, capitalism wasn't the cesspool we were trapped in, I could just do this and have a nice life, and that's fine. Not everything has to be for money. So unfortunately, I'm trapped in like a day job that I don't really love, but the thing that I do have a passion for, I make sure to be like, all right, this is just me having a nice time. If I ever make money off of it, cool. If I don't, still cool. I'm having a good time. I like that you've also made a choice that allows you to do your sculpting in a way that's healthy and sustainable for you. And I hope that you get enough freelance jobs to support whatever you need. That's pretty cool. You must have a lot of good friends in the industry. I like that they brag about you. Those are good people to have around. People who can hype you up are nice. It's been a good long stream too. It's been a while since I got a multi-hour stream going. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Really appreciate it. Meeting random goobers and then also getting along with them is a great way of, connecting with people. It's how I've met a lot of friends in this hobby. That's also how I've met a lot of, like, the content creators and stuff that I admire. Is just like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel too and stuff, and then they're like, oh, neat, let's get lunch or something, and it's like, yep, let's do that. It's awesome. Being accepted by your peers is cool. And a reminder to accept other people and give back what you get as well. Try to hype other people up. It's good vibes. I don't know why I switched over to a smaller brush when I could have just accomplished this using a bit. Well, I do know. It's a smaller project and it would have been messier. That's why. We've almost got the wood on this part done. So that's good. Oh, that's fun that you have inside jokes too. We love an inside joke. Josh, who I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, loves to ask me when I'm going to paint a chicken night, because I've made ice cream nights. He used to constantly ask when I would be painting Nurgle, But it seems that he finally gave up on Nurgle and moved on to Chicken Knight is his current request. And I'm sure eventually he will tire of Chicken Knight and move on to yet another request. It used to be asking me to do a Gilbert Gottfried impersonation, which I'm not good at and can't do. So, like, I don't know. I feel like there's probably other inside jokes that are not Josh related in our chat. But those are the ones that stand out to me as like some sugar candy memes. I know there are others. I can't think of them right now. You do not have to take on his mantle. Trust me. Josh is usually around. We're a little bunch of weirdos, but that's okay. It's fun to be around mutual little bunches of weirdos. Plus, I live with 3 little weirdos. I have 3 cats, and they're trying to break into my studio currently. I can see their little paws under the door. They're antsy because I've been away for a little bit. In an effort to not have every project in my life be completely covered in cat hair, they haven't been allowed in the hobby room since I remodeled it. And they're not super happy about that choice. Yeah, lots of Nurgle jokes too. Everybody loves to joke with me about Nurgle. Oh, another joke is that anytime there's a Warhammer preview, so anytime that Games Workshop is like, oh, we're gonna show you the new stuff, and like a couple days leading up to it, people are like, oh, what do you think it's gonna be? What are they gonna announce? What are they gonna show? No matter what, I always say Zotes. Every single time. It has never once been Zotes. I want it to be Zotes. I want my little lizard centaurs, damn it. Give me the Zotes. Games Workshop, they will not. But if I ever stop guessing Zotes, that's when there's gonna be a Zote. And then I'm fucked if I don't guess one, because it's gonna be like, oh, Fiverr didn't guess Zotes, and look at this entirely Zote army that's coming to this game or something, and I'm like, nope. So I've got to commit. Until GW puts a Zote in one of their previews, I must always guess Zotes. And I am doomed to never be right, and that's okay. Gotta do it for the memes. The consistency. The embarrassment if it were to happen and you didn't guess it. All good reasons. Oh yeah, the space dwarves. Everybody was pretty hyped for Votann. I'm not really like a dwarf. Dwarves aren't really like one of the fantasy factions that gets me excited. But there are some really cool models in the Votann, the Lees of Votann line. I like all of their little like robot helpers. Those are the ones that I like. Rock and stone, as I say. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Sometimes I think I should try out a couple of like Warhammer video games on the channel. I feel like that would be fun, but I don't know how to set it up to record from my PlayStation, but also have like my voice and stuff come through. So if I figure that out, then I'll do that, but that's gonna take some research, and then you guys would have to agree on what silly little game I could play. Or I guess I could play like a game that I actually like Bloodborne or something. But I don't know also if people want to watch me play video games, but I figured to like shake it up every now and again. I could play a Warhammer game. Ooh, okay, fair. Custom Space Marine would be cool. I'm not really a Space Marine fan either, admittedly. I've painted some before. I learned Angron's backstory at one point, and like devastating. I'm sure all of the backstories in Warhammer are also tragic in some way, but that one just hit me. So World Eaters are my favorite, because I think their Primarch's really neat. I also think it's super tragic that people just reduce him to basically being like the angry one when he has an extremely valid reason for all of the things that he's experiencing. Like, that just, it just kills me a lot. But what can you do, you know? I just got paint on my new t-shirt, and that's making me sad. I'm gonna see if I can't get it off. Excuse me here. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Of course, I got some of it on the white part of the t-shirt. It's not very noticeable, though. I'll have to throw this one in the wash. The perils of painting miniatures while wearing clothes that you like is that occasionally you might get paint on them. We did pretty good. Did pretty good. I'll just throw this one in the wash and see if I can't get the rest of it out. But I think it shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, salamanders are your favorite. Okay, fair. You still have super glue on one of your comfy shirts. That's fucking tragic. What the fuck was I painting? Where was I? Did I paint all of the teal on this part? No, I was painting that part. Okay. All my clothes eventually get paint on them. It is the price I pay for having a messy hobby sometimes. But that wasn't too bad. I honestly think that I got it, and whatever I didn't should come out in the wash, so we're hopeful. We're hopeful. That's fair. I don't think I could buy 21 of the same t-shirt. I would get bored of the same one over and over again. They're all blank black t-shirts, and you enjoy simplicity in your clothing. That's fair and valid for you to have chosen. I I can't say that my clothing priorities are the same. I like to dress in as confusing a manner as I possibly can. Often with colors that do not mix several patterns at once. Just like, why not? I like stuff that looks weird and doesn't necessarily go together. And I don't care. I'm just gonna wear it because it looks cool in my brain and not in reality. Does it have a little clown on it? Does it have a little mascot? Is it an obnoxiously bright color that doesn't look good on anyone? Yeah, probably gonna belong in my wardrobe. I don't know that it's fashion. I just buy shit that I think is funny most of the time. The thing is, when you're trying to, like, not appear feminine or masculine, it's like there's not really a great way of doing that, so I just go for confusing. I'm just gonna wear stuff and have people be like, what the heck? Why do you have a cardigan that has a bunch of really bright primary colors and smiley faces and shit on it? It's like, yep, clown mode activated, sir. Beep beep, honk honk, get the fuck out of my way. I do always stand out at Warhammer conventions and stuff because I'll be one of like 4 people wearing pastels, so it's pretty easy to spot. There tends to not be a whole lot of pastels being worn at Warhammer conventions, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, this t-shirt has a skeleton, and he's sprinkling like a little jar of jelly beans on something. And the t-shirt is also white with mostly blue tie-dye on it. And it says microplastics at the top. And then there's little stars on the sleeve. And it's like, yep, that's funny and stupid and weird. That's for me. Also, for my McDonald's themed Necromunda gang, I did name one of the models Microplastics, and he did very well. I don't know what these little guys are. There's some weird little bits on this print. You could picture me having Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck, yeah. I don't think you're wrong. My little sister loved that game. At one point, she had a remote control car that was Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck, and that was pretty cool. I'm not a fan of, like, driving games, though. I tend to crash right into the wall, so... Twisted Metal was never one of those ones that I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna play that. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. if you're like, this is my ward, I've just never been able to stop myself from wanting to buy some cute little things and some fun little shirts and stuff. I think every now and again I'm allowed to. And thrift stores can also be really good for getting some clothing that's like cheap, and you know, it's better to not keep fast fashion as a whole. We're trying. Capitalism is not great, but we're trying. So I can understand having 21 identical t-shirts if that just removes the desire to impulse buy from you. Makes sense. Yeah, fast fashion industry, basically just, you know, non-ethical production of, like, clothing on a mass scale. I think the industry term, I don't know, fast fashion became sort of the catch-all for all of that. You can Google it if you want. It's depressing shit. I'm not gonna go into details about it, but it's not great. They're making a Twisted Metal movie? That's weird. I didn't know that. When's that coming out? Or is it just like a thing that's in pre production hell? Are there any actors attached? Do we know? Listen, sometimes you don't buy an expensive t shirt, so you can buy an expensive plastic guy. That's valid. It's your money. Spend it where you like. Value is relative. It's a Twisted Metal show. Oh, that's even weirder somehow. It's weirder that it's a show and not a movie. All right, we're getting to the point where my fingers are going a bit numb, which is not super solid. Don't know why that's happening. But that's probably a pretty good sign that I'm losing my ability to paint coherently and should probably wrap things up. We did get a shit ton of progress done, which is wild. Wasn't expecting to get so much done on these today. So that's pretty cool. Plan for the rest of the night is to probably do some laundry now that I gotta wash my fancy new t-shirt, and watch a cool movie for the rest of the night. So if you guys have any projects you want me to check out, or painted anything on stream or anything like that, be sure to post it in the Discord so I can see it. I try to keep up with it, but I'm not always great when I'm streaming, so I definitely want to see. Wait, Will Arnett is gonna be Sweet Tooth? Are you guys for real? I feel like you're joking. Yeah, a place for you to post your stuff. You can post that in artwork, non-miniature, if it is not miniature artwork. So like 3D models would go there. Or hobby desk work in progress, if you have something that's work in progress that I'm Googling this, because you guys gotta be pulling my leg here. Will Arnett stars in live action Twisted Metal TV show. Wild. We really are living in strange times. Okay. I mean, there's clips of it happening, so I don't know. I'm glad you guys wouldn't lie to me. You want to make my stream screen as a scene? Yes, absolutely. Only caveat, if you make that, you have to show me, and then, like, yeah, I want pictures of it. If it's sick as hell, I want to be able to use it, maybe? That would be rad. Like a 3D stream screen? Hell yeah. That would be so cool. Yeah, obviously, like, you've got your own priorities and stuff, but feel free to post photos in the chat. Okay, you have proven that the Twisted Metal thing is scarily, real. But I need to go do other things now. So take care of yourselves, and I will see you all again, either in the Discord or on the next stream. Bye for now.